Okay, we tied the red fox squirrel, or some of us have tied the red fox squirrel. If you got 7 or 8 of them, bring them up, I'll sign it off, and then we'll get a package for the hare's ear. And basically, it's the same fly. We're gonna start out the same way, and all but one step's the same. So you've already done this, so this should be an easy one. So first of all, we need a tail. And so we're gonna just take a little pinch of hair off the hare's mask somewhere. Gonna find something that's easy to get a hold of. That's the hardest part, getting a hold of it and holding on to it. That's a pretty good piece I got. And I've already put coated the hook with the thread. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the pinch to get it on there in place. And I'm gonna get a few turns around it. And I'm gonna turn it so it comes down pretty good. Advance the thread and take this little piece of copper, and I think they make this out of spring steel. Some of you may testify to that.
Yes.
And I'm just going to tie it in on, actually, I like to tie my things like that on the side of the hook right next to me, okay? So, and just like last week, I left a little tag sticking out, and I'm just going to take my bodkin and bend it. And that makes it the easiest so it doesn't come loose that way. And then pinch it down so it's out of the way. Now, you're gonna get this hare's mask. Your thorax will be up here, the darker hair, and you're gonna be down here with the lighter hair over here. Some of this is too long, you'll have to cut it in half, but you're gonna make your own dubbing. Now, I'm gonna show you how to do that. Let's see. Take Mr. Whiskers here and cut some loose. And some of it's really long. I'm just gonna pull it out so I don't use it. And the other stuff, you can roll around in your hand and pull it apart, stuff, you know, and eventually you're gonna have something that looks like dubbing. Now, you could also throw this in a coffee blender and run it. And I would suggest that you guys do that because I've done that on, you know, hare's masks and a bunch of different animals. And you can come up later and look at this box, and it's all different furs that I've made. And it's I use it a lot. That's my main dubbing box. So I can take and put some of this on, or I can go over here and grab the ones that I've already made. Or I just pull out a piece like that. Put this out of the way, pull my thread down, and I'm gonna just start by putting some of this rabbit fur on the thread, just as thin as I can get it. Okay, and thin's important because then you're in control. When it's thin, you can make a couple of turns and not have it go all over on you and stuff. So thin is really a fairly, it's a fairly efficient way to do it, I'll tell you. And then you can control, you can always pick it out to make it bigger if you have to, or there's a ton of different ways. So I'm just wrap on down to that tail, and now I'm wrapping back up. And I'm gonna wrap back down further. I'm gonna put a little more on because we want to get a little taper to it. On a hare's ear, we don't try to get a big taper. but we do try to get a taper, that's for sure. And yeah. If it's hanging out on the end on you, rework it so it doesn't stick out on the end. It'll give you troubles down the line if it does. So I'm going to take a few more turns up here. Okay. Now, next thing I'm going to do, and this is important, when I wrap my rib, I back wrap it. I go under the hook. Most of the time you go over everything, but when you back wrap, you go under. And you need to get used to that so it doesn't fall in between your wraps and, you know, and then you get a really nice ribbing out of it, too. Three. And usually, if you kind of get it, if you get a nice ribbing on it, it will be pretty nice for you. Now, 2 over, 1 under, and a couple more over it for sure. And this flag, I'm going to helicopter it. And my rib is, I'm going to undo my wire a little bit because the rib is coming loose. It's not looking good. So if the rib doesn't look good, you gotta fix it. So I did. I'm pulling a piece out, kind of scrunched up there at the end. And I'm kind of glad because it's going to teach you guys how to fix things a little bit. So I had to pull it out rather than just go through it. And I'm going to go a little further, clear on out till I'm on hook shank, and that should hold it much tighter. And I'll just cover that up with dubbing. And now I'll just helicopter it. And I like helicoptering. We're gonna need you to, doesn't want a helicopter, which is not a problem because I have cutters on these. Don't use your scissors or else you'll ruin your scissors. And then I'm gonna go back down a little bit and get the, then I'm gonna go and get this feather. This is a turkey feather, and he's a turkey because he lost his feather. And you probably want to get, not a whole bunch, but a little bit. And cut it off. And if you work it with your hands, it will probably stay pretty much in one place. And so I'm going to put a thread around it, pull it down a little bit, and wrap it all the way down. And then back. Okay, so that's the different step. Okay, you're taking, going to take your thorax now, and you make your thorax. And you find natural dubbing sometimes a little more difficult to get on your thread. But keep trying, because the natural dubbing seems to work a lot better with catching fish. Okay, so I'm wrapping my thorax up. And a little more. There we go. And I like to make a kind of good-sized thorax, but the one thing you got to do is you got to leave room at the head of this fly. Okay? So then you pull that over the top, and it makes a wing case. And you get that wing case fastened down. Cut it off and use that old, yes, the whip finisher or your half hitch tool. And I left a little too much room for the head. So if I was tying another fly, I'd just correct that in the next fly. This is good enough. This will catch fish.